Hello, what's Story Morning Glory? Matt64 here, and welcome to Let's Play Children of Mana for the Nintendo DS. A really underrated game. The critics liked it in Japan, but over here, it didn't do very well. I think it sold well, but just the critics tore it to shreds. Anyway, in this game we have 4 characters. We have Ferric, who's pretty much jack of all stats. He has no real disadvantages, so he's recommended for beginners. Poppin, who is more for advanced players. Payne is he's the hardest character to play as. He has low defense. He's unskilled in close combat, but he excels in magic. Timbre, pretty much the best of both worlds of, I'd say, Ferric and Poppin. While she's not powerful, she has pretty quick attacks, and she has decent magic. Wanderer's for those who just prefer to slice things to death. I mean, his magic is pretty weak, but he excels in close combat, and his combos with his sword are actually slightly different. Anyway, I wanted to go with Poppin, but I've only beaten the game with him once, and it's pretty difficult. But I don't really want to do that when I'm recording a Let's Play, because you know what happens when people record Let's Plays? Bad things happen. So I'm gonna go with either. I think we'll go with Ferric. I've used Ferric a lot, and I'm very used to him. You can use this as a guide for any character if you wish, but bear in mind, your dialogues may be slightly different. Certain weapons are exclusive to 1 or 2 characters, and there's a side quest later that's exclusive to each character. Well, each character has an exclusive side quest. Anyway, you also have 4 colours here: orange hair, green hair, silver hair, blue hair. Each character has 4 different ones. I can quickly show you what they are if you want, although this is kind of a waste of time. These are mostly used for multiplayer, I'd say. Well, mostly wear blue hair. For a change, I think we'll go with orange hair. I was doing that with my eyes closed. Some kind of crappy roulette. Go with standard colours for a change. I mostly use blue hair Ferric because blue is my favourite colour. Hell, every character has blue. "'Tis a tale of long ago, when the mana tree was newly born. Eloisia Sia Asile something. In the middle of a sea. Okay, in the middle of a sea, in the center of the world. Please excuse the crappy fade-ins. Above it towered the great monastery. This being played on no cache Zuma, so I can actually record this live. I'm sure you've heard many stories about the monastery and the Sword of Mana. The story you're about to hear tells of the only time the Holy Sword ever dared to defy Mana. Mana, I mean. Oh, that doesn't sound good. And the sword. Like I said, please excuse the crappy fade-ins. This is being played on No Cache Zoomer. This is how it all began. No Cache Zoomer, which lets you actually zoom in when playing a DS game on No Cache GBA. No Cache GBA, well, faster, so I can record this live. Doesn't really, dare I say, email as well as DS Me, which is more stronger. That'll be all for today. Moti, can you teach me more often? I want to train more so I can get better fast. Ah, those fiery eyes, they look just like your father's. Oh? Your father was captain in the Holy Infantry of Wendell. He was a fearless swordsman. That's right. And I want to be a swordsman just like him. That's why I need more training. There's no need for impatience. In the cataclysm 10 years ago, monsters swarmed the land. The world today is very different. Yeah, but train too hard and you'll injure yourself. No more lessons for today. Fine. Guess I'll see what Tess is up to. Wait just a moment. It's almost time for Tess to go and offer prayers at the Tree of Mana. You mustn't keep her from her duties. Prayers? There's no harm in skipping them now and then. The prayers to the monastery are a sacred ritual to give thanks to the Mana goddess. I can't speak today. Skipping them is not an option. Well, if you put it like that. Do not bother Tess. Understood? Alright, I won't. Well, I'll see you next time. Bye, Moti. I forgot to mention that your beginning is different for each character. Anyway, this is Eloisia Asile. It's pretty much your base of operations. The spirits over here. Also, the other playable characters appear. They don't really contribute to the story. However, they say something in the ending, and what they say is different depending on which point in the story you are. You can press start to open up your menu. We got status here. We have, well, stats, and also you may notice under attack we have our sword is 32, but there's also 3 other things. You can have 4 different weapon types that you can switch between. You can use 2 in conjunction with each other. However, we only got the sword. We'll get our next weapon after the first dungeon. But anyway, we have to speak with Tess. Hello, Tess. Oh, hi, Ferric. Isn't it time for you to go and pray soon? Yes, I was just about to leave. Do more research today? Yes. I've noticed some troubling things lately. Like what? Holy crap, I actually called that. Well, maybe it's just my imagination, but something strange is going on with the plants and animals. They seem restless. Almost as if they're afraid of something. Really? I can't really tell, but I hope it's nothing. Me too. Oh yeah, would you mind taking this to Moti for me? To Moti? Why? I need it for... It's fine. We'll do this. 10 notes. Immortal abnormal plant growth. Yeah, she's a maiden. She's also a researcher. That sounds pretty amazing to me, I must admit. Okay, I'll make sure you get some. Thanks, I'll see you later. We will see you later. And I'm not saying that in a perfect way. Very something the matter. Delivering Tess's research. Oh, very good. Thank you, Ferret. See you, Mary. I'm sorry for all the talking, but this part does contain a lot, and I mean a lot of dialogue. What's good to see you. I believe this game is actually set after one of the Mana games, but I can't remember which one it is. I'm sure it's Dawn of Mana, but I've never played Dawn of Mana, so I can't really say. Not sure if it's after Dawn of Mana or Seeking Densetsu 3. I really can't be asked to read the text. But anyway, we have Watts. He is going to be important to the story, although he's going to disappear for about 3 dungeons. And your character says something else about when Watts talks to him too. I think with Wanderer, he asks, "Are you still on this island?" He also has a servant called Panzer. However, we're not going to see Panzer until, well, 3 dungeons later. In fact, the game doesn't even introduce him until you talk to Watts after, and he appears in a cutscene before. What is it? A geode, a sort of gem, if you will. Gems are going to be very important in this game. Very important. One of my lads got it from somewhere. But this is no ordinary stone, mind you. What do you mean? It's got uncanny powers. It does. And we're going to find out later in the game that they are trolls. And trust me, I'm going to enjoy that scene. That scene is just so funny. By Professor Bomb's way of it, it can alter the essence of any living thing. Alter living things? Professor Bomb said that? Aye. Professor Bomb, we're not gonna meet. Well, I don't think you ever meet him. But you meet his boys. Could it be evil spirits? The power of Mavolia? I don't know how to pronounce that. Evil spirits, power of Mavolia. Not good. But when they contained 10 years ago? Yeah. Aye, indeed they were. The gates to Mavolia were sealed shut 10 years ago by the Mana goddess herself. Then why is this happening? I don't know. That's why I'm here. Avina, might be something strange happening here on Illusia. I see. Or Illusia, I think it's actually pronounced. Well, something about the monarchy has caught my attention recently, and what might that be? Earthquake. And remember that stone that we were in front of a few seconds ago? Come quick, it's a stone. What's wrong with the stone? Please, just come and see, hurry. Well, what's up with the stone? What in the name of the goddess? Ooh, pretty. It's flashing in pretty colours. And it's cracked. And it looks so good and all. Damn it all. The stone is cracked, but how? And what was the devil that... What the devil was that? White light. I don't think they ever really... I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they ever point out what's so special about the stone. Although, it does have a use later. Help the Mars Tower. What is it? What is it? Tower. It was swallowed by white light. What? Didn't Tess go to? Oh, crap. You alright? I was like, prayers so Tess went on Ed alone. And of course, your character says they'll go. And we get this gem frame. Gem frame is also really important in the game. We can equip it with gems, set gems into it to buff ourselves up in different ways. You can do things like increase your stats, alter your weapons attacks, or even increase the power of healing items and increase experience, block status effects, power up magic. The gem system I like a lot because you can really customize yourself. You can also make yourself a game breaker. But I'll talk about that when it becomes available to us. We get the magic rope. I'm probably never going to use it, but if you press start in the dungeon, you can choose to return back to Elusia. Help handy when you're in a bind, or you're almost dead and you have no healing items left. Anyway, we got that crystal of strength. Let's put it on. You get a different starting crystal depending on which character you are. I can't remember all, but I think Poppin gets a magic one. I can't remember its name. But anyway, let's head over here, and we have someone telling us to wait. We have the spirits. This is where the magic comes into. You're heading to the Mana Tower, are you not? That's right. A turbulent force surrounds the tower. It's dangerous, but Tess is still inside. So you're diving all alone? Don't be so reckless. But someone has to help her get her out there. Now, calm down. Yes, it's always darkest before the dawn. We're here to offer you our help. Huh? We can't just sit back and watch while Tess is in danger, really. You can have one of us whisk along with you. Yeah, we have spirits now. You have to choose one of them. They do different things, and they have different elements. There are two types of spells: attack and support. Attack is when you set a spirit down. To summon a spirit, you have to hold B. The game will explain to us how that works later. But I'll explain it now because, well, I can. And I can waste your time here. When you summon a spirit, you can leave it until it flashes for the attack spell, or you can touch the spirit for the support. Like, most spirits give you, these four, their supports give you as a status effect to your attacks, which can be handy, but I never really use. These four in your hand down here gives them pretty helpful stuff, helpful spells with their support, like Dryad cures your status with Nature's Aurora and gives you makes you temporarily invincible. Lunar Radiance gradually restores your HP, although it's not very good unless you power up Luna. Healing Light, you can restore your HP, although Wisp's attack isn't very good. Shade, my brother likes using Shade. It's easy to see why, because you suck him into a vortex and smack him around. The only problem about that, though, is that it doesn't launch him. You can also make you invisible. But personally, I like to go with Gnome, because His spell is pretty powerful. Plus, you can knock enemies flying, which is something Shade cannot do. I believe Shade's... No, I think Dryad can't knock enemies flying as well. But Shade has the best range, and he hits them multiple times. Combos them if you will. But like I said, I prefer Gnome. But don't worry, if you don't like your Spirit, you can later change them, swap them around after the next dungeon. But anyway, let's start our first dungeon, the Mana Tower. Let's get into the real meat of the game. Is this the Mana Tower? What happened here? It looks completely different. What's going on? Yeah, well, this place looks like... Shit. What's the name of that artist? He made pictures where things look melted or bent out of shape. Damn it! I've done him once in school, but I can't remember what the hell his name is. Salvador Dali? Was it? Ah, I really just can't remember. But I recognise his work from somewhere. The force covering the tower is warping the fabric of space. I can't let anything happen to Tess. I gotta hurry. Oh, God no. Monsters! What are monsters doing here? The power must have brought them here. But we've no time to waste. Tess awaits. I can use the A button for full breakage! Yeah, you can do a combo with the sword. Your character basically explains the controls. Anyway, combat! This is where most complaints about Children Mana come. A huge complaint people have about Children Mana is that it does get repetitive, and that is something I do agree with. It does get repetitive. But the story, I will say, is pretty good, in my opinion. Although nothing amazing. I mean, I'm never going to be taught something else. Archers, if I just charge in, I'll get shot for sure. I don't really know all of Mono enemies' names, but I do know some of them. What we were fighting a few seconds ago were Rabbites. These, I believe, are Chobin hoods. I know mostly told me to deflect arrows as using my sword. You can hold A. This is also something the sword can do. Every single weapon has a special function that can be performed by holding the A button or the attack button. Like here, we can deflect. You can use sword to defend yourself from attacks, and you can reflect projectiles back at your enemies. Bottom screen is the map. I might not record the bottom screen for later episodes, but on the touch screen you can see how much HP, no, not HP, your level and how much experience. We also learn the skill sword attacks, techniques. The Fury gauge is talking about. When the Fury gauge is... I'll talk about the Fury gauge. Sorry. The Fury gauge when we... Well, as soon as this finishes. And we also get taught about magic, which is a good time to demonstrate magic. Yes, we know. I know. We know. I explained this. Magic uses up MP. That's something I didn't explain. You can also skip dialogue by holding... Well, you can speed up dialogue by holding A. And if you've seen a cutscene before, either if you died, then come back after you get sent back to Lucia and head up the dungeon again. Basically, if you've seen a dialogue scene before, you can press start to skip it. However, you can speed up the dialogue by holding A. So that's what happened. They were talking about stairs, but they're not here anymore because well, time and space has gone hot patooey, bless my soul. If you get the reference, of course. And we're going to be taught about gleam drops. It's actually the touchscreen is telling us where it is. It's hidden by a pot, which means we have to destroy a pot to get it. Also on the touchscreen is experience, lucre, and a map. The purple swirl-like diamonds are enemies. We can see the gleam drop on there, the gleam well, and the gleam drop. In later levels dungeons, the gleam well is actually going to be hidden as well as the gleam drop. Also, the diamonds with green circle in them are treasure chests. Mammy took a beating. Anyway, we're going up to the next floor. And I still didn't talk about the bloody... And this is just something about multiplayer. But first, we're talking about the Y button that can use healing items if you have one equipped. You can also switch between items by pressing the L button. And if you want to invite friends to your world, yeah, you can play multiplayer. I'll explain multiplayer in a little bit, but first, there's crystals behind after RMP. That's the fury gauge. As you can see, as I'm beating them up, one of the crystals are shining and they start colouring in. And one gets coloured in. Oh, and the spikes stay hurt. Do I need to explain that? Because it's kind of obvious. When the fury gauge becomes full, you can enter fury mode. And I'll explain more about that when we enter fury. Which, I'm not sure when that's going to be. Don't think it'll be for this dungeon though. Our spells take off 5 MP, by the way. Later on, you can upgrade the spell. You can upgrade your spirit's magic via certain gems. However, be careful when you do that because it does increase the magic cost by 5. And level up again. Yeah, multiplayer, you can only activate it when you go back to Elusia Asile. And when you do, you can bring another player. You can use the wireless connection to bring another player into your game who also has the game, or they can come into your game, or no, they can come into your game, or you can go into theirs. The game mostly follows that player's file, so any progress made in another player's game will not be made when you go back into yours. The only thing you keep from... Yeah, the only thing you ever keep... Also, I don't think you get rewards for quests either. Or weapons. Or extra weapon types. But, anyway. The only thing you keep from a multiplayer game that you can bring back into your game is levels and any items you collected. Those are the only things you can keep from a multiplayer game. The multiplayer, I will say, is pretty fun. However, an item we don't have. Oh crap! Those guys got me from my defense. That wasn't good. Luckily, I think we're about to find a healing item, I think. I'm not sure. Crystal Strength, Crystal Defense, those are going to be handy. Sorry about the beat him. In multiplayer, a lot of item we're going to get called Angel's Grail, which we're not going to get right now. We'll be able to revive dead players. They become as ghosts. In single player, when you die, you're instantly sent back to Mana Village after a game over ditty. And you don't become a ghost. In multiplayer, you get sent. The whole party gets sent back to Elucia Asile if all players are taken down in combat, which is kind of like how an average RPG works, really. But anyway, let's try out Fury, even though we got it. We have speed up attacks, and we can. Our guard is replaced with a charging stab move. Fury is really helpful, so don't forget to use it. After this dungeon, we're gonna get a item that will allow us to change it to Fury Reels, which does random things. Probably even better than your standard Fury. And this is somewhere. Here I really should have kept my magic. Or at least some MP. Right now we can only hold 8 items, but later on, if we get enough money, we'll be able to buy better backpacks, which will give us more inventory space. And after every 4 zones, you enter a prep menu. This is where you can equip gems or weapons inside a dungeon. And we have a new weapon, Bronze Sword. We got 2 of them when we're coming up. You may notice that equip at level 4 is right on the right side of it, of the weapon. You cannot equip a weapon that's higher than your level. You have to reach that level before you're able to equip it. Because Bronze Sword is level 4 and we are level 4, we can equip it instantly. Anyway, let's put on those 2 gems we got. Crystal Strength, which is going to increase our attack power. We have a Force and Defense, which increase our, which is kind of obvious, increase our mind and defense. And we have Crystal Law, which increases our insect by 4. You can also save, but first I'm gonna stop recording and check the recording and see how well this has gone, or how big the video is, or if it's come out very well. So then, see ya. Jesus, that video is long. Depending on how quick this cutscene is, I think we'll be able to. Actually, I'll save first, just in case something goes wrong. Terribly, terribly, terribly wrong. You can also return to Mana Village from this menu. Depending on how quick this cutscene goes, I might be able to squeeze it in before, well, an hour. I don't really want to make a long video, but this is the beginning of the game, so anyway. Are you okay? What's going on here? I don't know, I was praying in the Mana Tower. The ground started shaking, everything lit up. Next thing I knew, I was here. Wow, we own it. Anyway, believe it or not, the Minotaur. Well, you sure? Yeah. What's this? Holy shit, that thing's huge. And he has like... Is that... It seems to have like lizard like hind legs. Too. I've actually only just noticed that. But what is that thing? I just asked that. You notice that he's glowing. Although it looks better on an actual DS. But we'll take on this birdie. What the? Dude, did just... Our attacks just... do no damage? Helps if I could actually hit him. Yeah, our attacks are doing nothing to him. A few times I've actually managed to get it so that he fires off this like tower pillar of flame that goes around the place. In fact, it stays there during the cutscene, which is pretty awesome because it makes your character look like he's charging through past a giant pillar of flame that's coming at him. What's going on? Or her? Nothing seems to hurt it. Are we screwed? Apparently no. The sword has come to help us. Wait, a sword has come to help us? What? What could that be? A sword? It's kind of obvious. That barrier seems to have disappeared. Chance to do some damage. Now we can actually kill it. And its attack pattern actually slightly changes. Now it actually does different things. In fact, at critical strength, we're going to have the advantage. Say goodnight, birdie. Well, you... Oh, crap. And that's the status effect. Flame. You spontaneously combust, and you're running around with your pants on fire. That's one of the status effects in the game. And when you're running, you cannot stop, by the way. You cannot attack either. I might as well talk about that. And we got a silver rank, depending on how well you did in the dungeon. Either collecting all treasure chests or getting a certain amount of points. You'll be able to... You'll get a gold rank. Depending on your rank, it's either silver or gold. You can choose your prizes. You may notice that we have hemp rope, and we cannot equip it. Ferric and Wanderer can only equip armor type armor, while Timbre and Poppin can equip robe type armor. We have Chocolate Charm, which is actually a better healing item, Magic Walnut, which heals MP, Ring of Memory, and Lamena armor. We're going to be able to do a little side quest in a bit that'll give us an accessory which I think gives off a better, more intellect than Ring of Memory, but I'm not sure. But we'll get the Lamella armor, plus we're actually kind of desperate for armor. And sword is glowing. And what are those? We're gonna meet them later. What just happened? Frank, are you alright? Yeah, but look at that sword. Where did this come from? And they're glowing. Definitely quite likes you. What kind of sword is this? Are you alright? Stand out there, didn't you? Well, well, how intriguing, a human child defeating a Malvedon. What? Who the heck is this guy? That sword. So this is the goddess's solution. What? You have no business with that sword. I'll take it for safekeeping. And it doesn't like you. Hands off. What? I see, Mother Goddess. So you wield some power here after all. No matter. A single sword is of no consequence. Worst part, this guy looks so cool, and he has some really cool lines. But sadly, he is just so bloody generic. It is unbelievable. We'll see about that later. The Mana Tree is dormant and powerless to interfere. Now no one can stand in my way. But why are you babbling about? Witness the stirring of a new force. How beautifully it shines, unleashed upon the world at last. This is only the beginning. Those who are lost shall return. Remember that for later. As the world withers silently away. As the world withers away? Yes. The world will soon cease to exist. Can you stop it, I wonder? Ha 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 ha. Ta-ta. What could he mean? What's going to... Whoa! Huh? First places. They're undergoing the same thing that's happened to the Mana Tower. Mana Tower. And look at the effect here, how the bright light is reflected onto the portraits. This game does have some pretty nice graphics. Like I said, better if you're playing on the actual Nintendo DS, unlike me. Abnormalities in time and space, beasts never seen before. And now we have this. Ah, it's a holy sword. A holy sword. So it came hurtling down, as if it had a will of its own, you say? Right, and the light it emitted helped us defeat the monster. You mean I defeat the monster? She didn't do anything. It also protected us from a strange man who appeared there. A strange man? In the tower? After we defeat the monsters, I defeat the monster. He came out of nowhere and tried to take the sword away. There was an eerie air about him. He seemed to revel in all the strange things happening lately. The world is going to wither away and die, he said. Griffins? No, not the horrors of 10 years ago. Could he mean the gates of Mavolia will once again open? Well, just pondering here won't do no good. What? What do you say? We investigate what's happening elsewhere. Agreed. Maybe we should have a look at those giant columns of light. Alright, I'll head back to Ish to put together an expedition. I will beseech the other nations to help us learn more about these strange events and the damage they cause. Now let's get moving. Moti, what should I do? I'd rather not involve someone so young in something so dangerous. I believe if you're playing as Wanderer, he doesn't say this. I believe. It's been a while since I last played as Wanderer, so... But the Holy Sword must have chosen you for a reason. Farewell. Please join the investigation of the columns of light. There are 3 in all. There appeared in Lorimar, Jad, and Topple. 3 columns. According to initial reports, the column in Topple seems to be exerting the strongest force. Will you head there and take a look? Of course. I believe if you're playing as Wanderer, again, he'll say I'll get a boat. Then Moti kind of cuts him off and says this. No, actually, I forgot. That's a little bit later. Or I think he says it now. I can't remember. Like I said, it's been a while since I played as Wanderer. I know he says a line and Moti cuts him off. And tells him that won't be necessary. This is a flail, a weapon I used when I was younger. It has a wider range of attack than a sword. You can also use it to pull stuff together. Pull yourself close to walls or draw items towards you. If the chest seems out of reach, try slapping the flail straight out to obtain what's inside. The light flail. The flail, like you said, you can tap the attack button to swing it around you in a circle, or you can hold the attack button to launch it send it forwards to snag items or monsters towards you. I'm not sure if it really happens, or it could have been my imagination, but I think if you do that with Poppin, but on a monster, Poppin gets dragged towards the monster, I think. It's probably only certain monsters that happens to, or it could have been just me. Thanks, Moti. Now you have 2 weapons at your disposal. Would you like to try using the flail or fighting with both weapons at once? Nah, I'm fine. You can try practicing if you want. We now have 2 weapons. Okay, Vance, when you're ready to set out, please come see me on the upstairs balcony of the Silver Mermaid. The Silver Mermaid balcony? Yes, I'll be waiting. Okay, I'll see you later. Derek? Yes? Please be careful. I'll be alright. I was chosen by Holy Sword after all. I know you'll wield its power as well. Just leave it to me and I'm good as the souls of my father was. Someone's getting a little egotistical. But anyway, this video is probably going to be really long. I'm really sorry about that. And I think I'll end this off here, because we're about to enter our next dungeon. Plus, there's a few side quests I want to knock out first, before we head out. But anyway, I'll see you later for more Let's Play Children of Mana. See you next time.